All of that was part of the LEED standards. We had to have parking spaces for the handicapped, and we had to encourage hybrid cars. So we have to set aside parking for those people. Carpooling, if you're carpooling, you get a better parking space than someone else. So it was so many things that were involved. The energy that we use is very minimal for the size of the building that we have, 30% less than normal.
So some of the equipment, though, has got to cost money,
Yes.
more money than what it would be. But overall, are you winding up saving money on energy usage from that?
In the long run, yes, definitely. It
Right.
cost us over $1 million more to do it.
To install everything?
Yes,
But it's a sizable building,
48,000 square feet.
48,000 square foot.
Yes,
You know, it's funny, I live in the neighborhood. I run past it quite frequently, and I
Right.
saw it going up, and it looked like it was a big building from what I was able to see from the street. But then after seeing the pictures, it's a huge building, but it really blends in so well. So sometimes those things we need to deal with
Yeah.
are really not a bad thing.
no, it turned out well, yes.
And over time, they will recognize the profits that they will derive as a result of
That's right.
having it
Yeah.
being a silver building. It's, it's just time. It takes time, the payback on it. But it
Right.
will.
In the long run, it will work
It'll
out.
be there.
Yes.
And you're doing a great thing for the environment.
Yeah, it's
sorry,
certainly, very important, to do from the environmental standpoint. But looking at it
Yeah.
still from the business standpoint,
It is worth it. It's, it's not an immediate return on that investment. It's over a period of time, but it will come.
right. But that building is built specifically for you with all of the other requirements that you have in there from the protection side of it.
Oh, yes.
It's a very, very
Yes,
secure building.
definitely is.
You've got the power source coming in from two different areas, the
Right.
cable equipment coming in from two different areas.
Backups that we have.
Bulletproof glass, the
Right,
the
exactly.
walls, the steel walls.
The steel
it's-
walls, the entire data
We have
centers.
like a data prison.
It is.
sitting over
It
there.
is just like a
That's
prison.
exactly it.
Yes,
And
and the security
matter-
is
yeah.
equal to a prison.
And no matter what weather, what phenomenons are going on in the weather, they are okay. It could be hurricanes, it could be rainstorms, it could be almost anything.
Lightning
They
strikes.
lightning strikes. They are okay. They continue
We
to be up
watch
and
the
running.
weather and
Yeah.
monitor those things also as well as the heating.
There's monitors right on the premises of the weather and everything else.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of security that's gone into this and redundancies all
Yes.
over the place.
Yes.
It's the first time I've heard of a building like this, jokes aside about the prison. But are there other buildings like you or other businesses in this area that
Not
do what you do?
immediately in our area, no.
Would immediately Long Island or beyond?
There are a couple on Long Island, yes, but bigger companies than us, and we hope to grow
Right.
to be their size.
There's certain businesses have to need that kind of security
Oh,
for
yes,
their business.
yes, definitely. Really, all businesses need to secure their data, make sure that it's not going to be gotten into. As you know, with the banks and such, the security has been broken, so they do need a company like us to
Yeah,
make sure
definitely.
that the security is there.
Right. Without a doubt, we have so much is stored electronically, that you do need that kind of extra security as it goes along. So it's nice to know we have a business like yours in the neighborhood.
Right.
You could go pop over and see our disc as it sits in one of those racks. Yeah, there's my business.
That's
right. Electronic form.
That's right.
Yeah. But showing up and working, it's funny, just showing up at a networking event. So it's almost like happened, just by chance meeting.
Right.
Yeah, it was supposed to happen.
Right, it was. It was wonderful for us, but I think more small business and medium-sized businesses need to know about what you offer.
I would
Yeah.
say one of the difficulties that we have is a perception that we work with startup businesses. Of course we do. We love our startups. But probably more than 50% of what we do is with existing businesses, such as Dolores' business and other businesses like that. And we work closely with a lot of the accountants and attorneys to refer back and forth because the existing businesses, especially if they're growing, don't know how to go back and do a business plan or whatever other documentation they're going to
the
need
next
for the
step.
loan process. And it works out perfectly. It's what we do, and we're happy to do it. And it's all of the people who work there are full-time counselors. They're all certified counselors. It's a wonderful, wonderful staff. Our service is only as good as our staff is, and we happen to enjoy a particularly educated and wonderful staff from all different areas, which is also something that's very interesting. We have MBAs on staff. We have CPAs on staff. And as I said, they're full-time. This is not like volunteer an hour. The client who goes to the counselor stays with that client throughout, because it's important that the counselor get to really get involved, as Dolores and I are a perfect example of. Really get involved. She can pick up the phone and call me, and I know so much about her business, where if you moved it around, that continuity would not be
Right,
there.
you'd have to explain the
all
the
so
problems all
that's
over
what we
again.
do, but we have just terrific people.
So in the role of the economic development, you're working more as a conduit?
My office has a few different avenues for it. We work with Gloria's office, and we send
Oh, yes.
people to her. She sends people to us. We work together all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We also work with companies like I said, that are growing and expanding through the IDA to provide those sets of benefits. And the other thing is, if you come through my office, you have a contact. You can call me and say, I have a question about how this process is going to work through the town, or what the next step is. And you have someone that you can work with who I'll help you make sure that your business gets to the next level, takes those steps that are appropriate for your needs.
There's one more thing that Lisa's operation does that Lisa might be a little bit too humble to speak about, and that is I will pick up a phone and call Lisa and say, I don't know how to get this through the town. I don't know who the people are. I need to get my clients through this. And Lisa either finds out or steps up to the plate and gets the information for us. So we meet all the time, just because we love the relationship. We love working together, and it's for the businesses in Brookhaven. I think it's a home run for them.
Yeah, and that really is the mission in my office, is to assist the businesses so they grow. It's a lot of it's about job creation. So we want to, it's important to have as many jobs for our residents as possible. And Dolores is a great example of a business that's steadily grown and provides those stable, dependable positions.
Right. And also a little bit of real estate also.
That's right.
Have a few rental
That's true.
units in there.
Yes, we do.
Right.
We have open space available for rental, yes.
So you've really learned a lot with this move.
Oh,
Landscaping,
We certainly
you got the
did.
historic home on site.
That's right.
How to be a landlord.
That's right.
And you
Yes.
still got the family. How to keep the whole family together.
And how to feel, that's a big job, keeping the family together too. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you just employ them all. That's it.
Threaten everybody with a paycheck. You don't come for Thanksgiving. You don't get paid. But it certainly, the way the relationship has grown over here, it also sounds like a family.
Oh, yes.
Because there's nothing that you need the resources over here in order to fully execute what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yet there's no way that you could do what you're doing without knowing what is needed from the town.
You're exactly right. And Lisa and I actually have a standing meeting. We meet once a month, every month, just to go over issues or clients or what if, or did you hear about this one, and can you help me with that one? So we do. She's good.
I've heard rumors about that too. You hear rumors sitting over here, on that. It's doing that, keeping the lines of communication open, for the resources that are out there with the businesses also. So even to know where your needs are going forward. So just as much as you two are a resource with each other, you are a resource here when it comes to knowing what you're dealing with on a regular basis. Not that there's ever any issues with the town, but let's say talking points,
Right.
and to keep them informed.
Here's another area that, just to actually build on what you were saying, which is so much more important than I think people actually understand. We all help each other. But when we are looking for a success story, which we do, obviously, we will call on Dolores and say, just talk to the SBA or talk to this one or that one or the media. And Dolores is this wonderful success story. I'll call Lisa in and we'll all get involved in it. And it's, it's representative of Brookhaven.
No, without a doubt. People working together to make things happen.
Yeah.
It does, and you're right. But sharing those success stories, then you have something else to put out there and to promote, and that's going to do what we all have in common, and that is get everybody out there aware of what's going on. And I feel guilty about that also with the Small Business Development Center. Focus on the small side. that it's not so much as the mid-level or larger companies that you're also working with
Definitely mid-level. I don't know if you know, but the SBA defines small businesses as less than 500 employees. So it's a pretty wide berth for us.
Yes, it is. It is. But people think of it as
Yeah.
a small 5-person
Yeah.
company, but
We
you
love
can
our
go-
mom and pops, but we
but-
also love our manufacturers and have initiatives to help all of those as well.
Yeah. And you're a good representation of that too, because
Yeah.
it's not because you are that mid-level company and supporting
that's right.
the lower level. I
Yes.
imagine you allow her send out that flyer every once in a while
Yes.
to the tenants. It's like, "Hey, you should call Gloria or Lisa. It's a tremendous resource.
Oh, it definitely is. We couldn't have gotten this far without them.
Yeah.
Really. We wouldn't have known where to go for the funding or help with the business plan
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. And now we're able to grow our business
Right.
because of them.
When writing a business plan, it's human nature. People write it from a very personal perspective when they're writing their business plan, and part of it is to get them to move out of that comfort zone and do it all in the third person. Because we'll get initial business plans that'll say, "Well, I had this idea when I was walking on the beach one day," and you go, "Yeah, but let's change the executive summary just a little."
Just a side one. Well, that must have been a transition on your side too, because it's one thing to have the house to do what you're doing in, because you're not answerable to, you're answerable to clients, of course, but not
Right.
beyond.
Right.
Then once you start going into the building and dealing with the town, other people need to know what you're doing, but they're told in writing what you're doing, not
That's right.
verbally.
Exactly right.
And it was good to present to the bank. We had something concrete to present to the bank. And you also helped us and told us we need the financial plans.
Yes.
And we've presented everything in a nicely arranged packet.
Beautifully, yeah. Well, we worked very hard on that.
Yeah,
It's not
It's an
something that you
important
throw
piece.
together. You don't just take all the documents
Right.
and go, okay, here it is. It has to be presented. And I want to make this one point, and if people leave here and don't remember anything else I say, I want to say that the executive summary is the most critical part of the business plan. Even though it appears first, it's really written last. After all of the ideas have been fleshed out and you're very comfortable with everything you're doing, then you do the executive summary. And whether you're going for funding or just as a roadmap for your business, that executive summary is critical to success.
Right. And the other thing I'd like to point out too is through Lisa's office, you have the primer book.
We have a whole series of services available through economic development, through the IDA, and through economic development we have the BBAC, which is bringing you this show today. We have the show, we have events, we have the primer book, which is how to start a business. It's a guide, steps, all the steps that you need to start a business. And you also just have the resource of calling up my office and saying, I don't know where else to go. I'll send you to the Small Business Development Center. I'll send you to the Miller Business Resource Center. There's a whole series of steps that you should take, that you should consider your local chamber, all of those things that you need to consider when you're starting a business.
Right. So folks, if you're looking for resources, they're here. I'm sure even Dolores would be happy to share a story or two with you
Definitely.
as it
Yes.
goes along. But Lisa's office, give them a call.
6563.
6563. That'll be on a little bit later also. 6563. She'd be happy to steer you in whatever direction that you need for the business and get your hands on that primer book. It's a great way to get started. And also Gloria's office too, you can reach out to them.
The number is 631-632-9837, and you'll talk to the sweetest receptionist.
No matter what you do, go to the Brookhaven website. You could reach everybody by going to the Brookhaven site, including the resources that are here and the rest of the resources that are available to you.